Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Potsmoker's Bible. My name is Zion. I'm the author of the Potsmoker's Bible, which contains the prophetic book of Zion, where I get my name and authority. It comes from the Ketuvim, or Old Testament, of the Christian Bible. I use the King James Version of the Christian Bible to put together the prophecy of Israel from the scattered bits of testimony from the various prophets of the Old Testament, and I wrote it into a book called the Book of Zion. It's written entirely in Bible verse. So, in order to publish it, I had to write the Potsmoker's Bible, which is the commentary to the Book of Zion. And today I want to talk about some, well, the obvious thing, the riot, if you want to call it riot, protest, if you want to call it protest. It doesn't matter what you call it. But I want to talk about the underlying truth of both Black Lives Matter and the Trump movement. Because I try to look at the big picture always. And the big picture shows me, I don't know if it shows other people, but it shows me that there is this core part of America, which consists, I'm told, of about 75% of us. 75% of America is living either hand to mouth or borderline hand to mouth. That approximately 25% of the United States population makes above 100,000 a year. And since that is the line that was pretty much drawn by the stimulus checks, that's the line that I choose to use in this episode. So there's 75% of America that's pretty much divided into two camps. The Trumps, the Trump camp, and the Black Lives Matter camp. Now, the underlying difference between these two is the color of your skin and the faith of your religion, or lack thereof. But the truth of the matter is, you both have the same problem: money. Because the 25% of America that is made up of the professionals who make above 100,000 a year, and the elite, the one percenters that own the corporations and really run the show, and the rest of us who are made to live in fear of not having enough to eat, not having a job that's secure, not being able to provide the American dream to our children. The disparities between the two groups are galling. And the farther you go down the scale of income, the more galling the difference becomes. So the two halves of the 75% that struggle have split into two different camps, Republican and Democrat, or more accurately, above the poverty line and below the poverty line. White supremacists and white evangelicals, white Christians, and everybody else. But the problem is the same. You can't afford to put your kids in college. You don't have as good education as the elite rich have. You don't have the same opportunities to go into the professions as the rich and elite have. So the basic problem is the same, it's economic. But Trump has dressed it up with the Christian white supremacist mantle and made it about race. But it's not about race, it's about money. And the difference between having money and not having money, and the means to procure that. Now, the white supremacists, well, they were already, they were already white supremacists. Nothing was going to change that. Trump just gave them a way to get into the mainstream. But I believe that the majority of Trump's followers fall into the category of those in need of assistance monetarily. They're looking to Trump for something that he has no intention of ever giving them, a leg up. He's one of the 1%ers, and they have followed him blindly. And in the prophecy that is the basis of all that I do, it says exactly that, that many of my people would fall into this category of following the leaders and being led down the wrong path. And I believe that the January 6th was the wrong path for a lot of Americans. A lot of mainly white, Republican, middle to lower class, uneducated, borderline poor, struggling. You know, it's like when Trump started, he promised to give a leg up to the coal miners, to the people who were losing their jobs to climate change, pretty much, and the advancement of the green movement. These people are poor, uneducated, white Christians. Now, it's not the white part of it, and it's not the Christian part of it. It's that he glammed them, telling them that he was going to get their jobs back. Well, of course, he couldn't get their jobs back because coal has been put to the side because it's too polluting. He could never give you your jobs back. And he led you to err, just as the prophecy says, just as the prophet Isaiah says. Those who lead you cause you to err. Well, I'm asking you to step away from that. If you abhor violence, like any true Zionite would, if you are a Christian who follows the peaceful teachings of Christ, or Jesus, I should say, look at his character. Remember, Jesus said that you would know them by their works, by what they do. There's a better way. The problem is money, so let's deal with the problem and forget about the players in the game of politics, in the game of money, in economics. Because we don't need money. Money is a concept. Money is just something that they made up off the top of their heads. Oh, look at this shiny rock. This shiny rock is worth at least 5 of those dull rocks. And so was born money. It's that stupid, it's that simple, and it's that easy for us to walk away from it. All you have to do to truly understand the big picture, money is a lie. Money is no more real, no more necessary than Trump's election fraud was. Because money is nothing but a big stop. It stops you from having or stops you from caring that others don't have. That's what it does. It's all it's ever been able to do. It's all it ever will do. That gives us this whole economic bullshit where a person who works their ass off for their whole life gets fed crumbs while people who have never had to work a minute in their lives get everything for nothing. Bullshit. I'm a laborer. I earn everything I have. And I don't need a dollar bill to give me what I need. I can go to the grocery store, go to the uh, produce section, get produce to have fresh vegetables on my dinner plate. Take the refuse from that, plant it according to the way that it shows you on the internet, and you can get a free food source. just from one trip to the grocery store. You can do away with the need for the grocery store. Just save a couple of those potatoes, cut them up in quarters, throw them in the ground. Remember to water them. Grow your own food. You can do that. That's all you have to do. You don't need money for that. Okay, you need the money to buy the produce off the shelf, but that's a one-time buy. So you can invest in a stock of celery and forever after have celery. Because that celery stock will give you the means to grow more celery. So you don't have to go to the store for celery ever again. Money is not real. So I suggest that if you have a problem feeding your children, go to the grocery store, go to the veggie stand, get yourself some celery, some carrots, all of the different fruits and vegetables that your family needs to live. Take the seeds, take the part you can't eat, plant them. You'll have food forever. There's an old saying, give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for a lifetime. So we need to Minecraft ourselves back into reality. Money doesn't mean shit, especially to those who do not have it. So whether you believe in Trump, or whether you're black, red, brown, or whatever color you are, your problem is the same. Money is your problem. It's got nothing to do with your religious beliefs, because if you pay attention to what I've been teaching, religion is a myth. The gods of old were alien creators. They came from a different galaxy. They came to this planet. They mixed their DNA with ours and created us. And because they're older and wiser than we are, they were the ones who ruled everything. They created us. Of course, they ruled over us. And it was nothing diabolical. It was just the way things were done. We were an infantile race, needing to be nourished and grown up. And these beings are not the all-powerful beings that we worship. And they don't want to be worshipped. They just want to come back. They want to see their kids. We're their kids. They want to see us. That's the true God. It was a the temple structure of the ancient world was a political structure. It wasn't a religious structure. It had nothing to do with worshiping anybody. It was how they ran the government. If you look at the temple structure, the temple complex, it was a temple complex. It was a government complex. You had your agricultural department, your medical department. You had your commerce department. You had your communications department. You had everything a government needs, not a religion. So if you take religion out of the picture, my friends, believe whoever you want to believe saves you. Because they can save you if you believe it. If you follow their teachings and you find your way through them, good. That's great. But let's not base our love of each other on ancient gods who no longer are around. Let's instead get to know the real gods, the greats, those who from the heavens came. And they will help us learn to get past religion, to get past politics, to form a government that doesn't use money and therefore doesn't discriminate. So, whether you're a Trumpster or a Black Lives Matter person, doesn't matter the color of your skin, it doesn't matter the belief of your religion or your politics for that matter. If you belong to either one of those groups, you see a real problem with society that is not being addressed. The disparity of wealth between those who have and those who need. Well, what we need is to do for ourselves as we always have. So may the Grey watch over you, guide you, protect you, and keep you from all harm, and may they teach you right from wrong. May you be worthy of them. May your thoughts, words, and deeds reflect truth, good, and light, the unicorn way. Find your joy and pursue it. Make that your life's work. Know that I love you. I'll talk to you later, because I'll never say goodbye.